this would be the perfect way of explaining my country.
Well, hey there. Welcome back. I'm here with Jamyang Loden. So, as I ask everyone, tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Mark, for giving me this opportunity to share about my country to your audiences, especially Americans, if I'm not mistaken. So, once again, thank you very much. My name is Jamyang Loden, and I am from Bhutan, the country of gross national happiness. So, currently, I am a monk at Ludakaru monastery in Bumang, that is central part of Bhutan. So, yeah, I'm learning Buddhist philosophies, and it has been 7 years since I took monastic life. And yeah, that is a brief introduction of me.
Well, that's very good. As I said before, I'm so happy to be able to speak with you. I love that the technology allows us to communicate in this way and see each other. And speaking of that, you have definitely embraced technology because you have your own YouTube channel.
Yes, yes. A very small growing YouTube channel, I should say. The shall I continue?
Oh, sure. I was just going to ask you if you would mind telling people about your channel. What is the purpose or mission of your channel?
Okay, thank you very much for this question once again. The main reason or purpose that I created this YouTube channel is because I wanted to show my country to outside Bhutan, because there are so many vloggers or YouTubers who are talking about our country within Bhutan, and there are so many YouTubers outside Bhutan, great YouTubers who comes to our country and show Bhutan to outside world. Then I thought, why not I show my country to outside? It would be better that if I represent my country on my own way and show to other people. That would be very meaningful. That is one reason. And another reason is as a monk, we have so many less people coming out and speaking and sharing about their life. And if I share about my spiritual journey, then it would make other people to learn what is spirituality. That would give some insights of what is the life of a monk, as a monk. So that is one reason. That is another reason why I created this YouTube channel. And there are other factors which I am not able to remember now. But then these are the two reasons, main reasons why I created this YouTube. And yeah, and I think I would say I'm blessed to have, that I got attention from outsiders. As I, there's one, there's a saying, when you want something, everything conspires in helping you achieve that. That is what I felt, exactly as I wanted. I got opportunity to talk about my country in one of the biggest YouTube channels, about construction. They gave me platform, and that has really helped me to pull the subscribers from Western countries subscribe to my channel, and now I think it is working well.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so I will let you know too that when this is published, I will make sure that there's a link, a very clear link to people being able to see your YouTube channel and being able to find you and so forth, because I know people out there really want to learn. YouTube is a wonderful way to learn. It's overwhelming. There's so much that's there. And and people who listen to this podcast also want to learn. They want to know new things, maybe things that would be difficult to find otherwise. And the greatest thing about it is being able to hear directly from the person who's experiencing it. We can read about it all we want, but to be able to have the luxury of speaking to you directly is really, really cool. And you were mentioning being in the monastery and being a monk. I'm sure everyone would be very fascinated to hear sort of your description of that, because I think everyone has a concept in their mind of what it is. And I'm sure it varies depending on where you are in the world and so forth. Would you mind sharing a little bit about what it is to be a monk and what your day-to-day activity looks like?
Okay. I'll just begin with how I begin my day. So my early bell rings at 4:30 a.m. Bhutan Standard Time. That is plus 6 GMT. So my when there's a ring in early hours, 4:30 a.m., then all the monks will have to get up and get ready by 4:45. They'll have to sit in their room. So and they'll have to uh, read. Some will memorize the sloka of prayers, and some will do some sort of recitation. Some will go with their prayer, whatever it may be. They'll have to get ready by 4:45. So from 4:30 to 6 a.m. it will be morning study, and from 6 to 7 a.m. it will be morning breakfast. So 7 to 9 will be first class, morning class. Every monk will be attending their first class for 2 hours from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And after that, uh, there will be tea break for 30 minutes. It will be from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. From 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. it will be second class. So from 11:30 to 1 p.m. it will be 1:30 p.m. Okay, 2 hours will be for the lunch break. So in that lunch break we have ample of time. So some monks, they'll learn to blow trumpets, to blow there are different Tibetan sort of musicals that are being used in performing rituals. So monks will learn that, and some will go for learning handwriting. Is very important. And yeah, some will learn other sorts of ritual performing ideas. So that's how we spend. And from the 1:30 to 3 p.m. it will be revision class for the students who are below fifth standard. So but for those who need not have to attend revision class, will have to sit in their room and do self study. From 3:30 to 4:30 it is English class for those students who do not know English. So they'll have to attend the English class, and for those who know English, they'll have to do self study as usual. From 4:30 to 6 p.m. it will be evening. I mean, yeah, 4:30 to 6 will be debate session. I don't know whether you have seen how Tibetan monks debate. So they'll be attending a debate session in which the what you have studied in the morning class and what are the doubts that you come while studying, this will be solved during the debate session. So monks, they will debate, and yeah, many things happens in the debate session. From 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. will be even dinner time, 1 hour. From 7 to 8, exactly what we're doing. So during this hour, monks will be attending evening prayer, okay, for 30 minutes. 7 to 7:30 will be evening prayer, and 1 hour will be, we have leisure time, so you can do whatever you want to do till 8:30. From 8:30 to 10 p.m. will be night study. So from 10 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. will be your sleep time.
Mm.
So that's my routine, and it goes all the way from Monday till Friday. Yeah, Monday till Friday, but there's little bit changes during Sunday and Saturday. So Saturday you have class till lunch. Till morning. So afternoon you're free. You can go anywhere. You have time to go to different places. And during that time, I take that opportunity to go to sacred places and shoot a video.
Mhm.
Okay, that's how I maintain my YouTube channel. So otherwise, I'm packed. I cannot overtake my schedule. So during that time, weekend afternoon, sometimes if the place if the places are nearby, then I take that opportunity during the afternoon hours. Otherwise, if I have to travel longer distance, then I take I go during the Sunday. And editing time, I'll have to manage somehow. Yeah, that's how I do.
Right. That's very impressive. Well, thank you. That is an awful lot to unpack for people. I'm sure they will listen to this twice just to get that schedule. That's a lot, and it really says a lot about you that you take your precious free time and then you once again commit that to helping people by creating the video. And like you said, as you know, when you create videos, it's not just shooting the video. There's a lot of time involved in editing them. And your videos look very professional. They're very polished, they're very professional. You have titles. Everything looks very good. You have multiple
Really,
camera
thank you.
angles.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yeah, very well. It's a very well done video series. So I encourage everyone to take a peek at it. It's really fun, beautiful eye candy for people to see, and a lot of learning. And it's fascinating that you specifically have an English class, and that's something I was going to ask you about, which is very fortunate for me that you speak English because that helps us to communicate. And the
Okay.
national language of Bhutan is not English. It is
Donka.
Dongka. Okay, I wanted to
Donka,
make sure I
yes.
said that right. Dongka. So that's your native language, but everyone at the monastery learns English.
Yes. Um,
Did you find it a hard language to pick up?
for me, it's not that I learned English in my monastery. Okay. Um, I did my bachelor's in business administration from one of the business colleges in our country.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how I picked up English. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for me to speak English. And just attending 1 hour in a day would be very difficult to pick up English.
mhm.
But I have the experience of attending, English medium school for 17 years. Yeah, that's how I speak English. Otherwise, I have, my background is human resource management, and yeah, that's how I speak English.
Ah,
But for the monks who are attending English, they know basic how to write, and they know how to speak also.
mm.
Yeah, that's how.
And since you are technologically connected, and Bhutan has a very high level of technology connection. I looked up what internet connectivity is for the average citizen. Uh, they're very well connected, and just the connection that you and I have literally is a very good quality connection. So your internet there is really good, which means also having access to other YouTube channels, English channels. And I've spoken with other people who are non-native speakers who tend to learn quite a bit also from just watching YouTube channels that are spoken in English. Was that a part at all in this for you?
You mean did I learn English through that
Yeah, there are some people who
medium?
literally
No?
learned English just by watching those videos. I know you
Okay,
said you
okay,
you
okay.
you had it in school, but I'm just curious if that helped at all.
Definitely, it really helped me. You see, uh, there are dark side of technology, but if you know how to utilize, then technologies are really awesome. You have control. So technology doesn't affect you, but if you know how to control that, then you have the right to steer the wheel wherever you want. So yes, it really helped me, but more than that, I think my school has helped me to speak English, and especially my college days, because we did a lot of presentation in English. So English is our second language. For the Bhutanese, English is second language, by the way. So I think all the Bhutanese speaks English very well, and especially those generation who are born after 2000, they are far better than us.
Hmm.
Their fluency in English, it's just superb. So for us, our fluency might be really not that good, but then mm, the usage of word and all this, I think we are okay with that.
No, I think I do. I think you do quite well, and I think it's amazing when you have a second language that you speak so well, and that you say the whole population speaks so well as well. Uh, and in the very, if I can switch gears, in the beginning, I didn't really set the table, if you will, for people to understand where you are. So Bhutan is bordering China, correct? It's a country. If you wanted to describe sort of where it's situated for people.
Okay. I'll have to be specific because earlier in that video I said Bhutan is between the two giant countries, China and India, and then many of the people were not really happy because they said it's between Tibet and India. So I'll have to recorrect that, and also for those people who are listening to this podcast, and if you watched that, the B1M channel, then yes, in Bhutan is between the two mostly populated countries in the world. China in the north and India in the south. I think this would be the perfect way of explaining my country. Just mentioning the border, it would be quite
Mhm.
controversial. So,
It sounds like it. It
so
sounds like it was.
yeah, so Bhutan, yeah, it is located between the two mostly populated countries in the world. So between these two giant countries, people often say it looks like a sandwich. So yeah, Bhutan is located in between these two giant countries, and there are so many interesting facts about my country. For instance, Bhutan is one of the few countries in the whole world which is which has never been conquered by any countries so far. So it remained independent throughout the history. And Bhutan is also one of the few countries to be nominated as the carbon negative country. Not only carbon free but carbon negative country.
Right.
So so in our country's constitution, it is mandatory that country must maintain at least 60% of forest coverage. That's why our looks really green. And by the way, our country has so less population. We are more than 700,000 people only,
Mhm.
which makes our country very small in population. And even if I have to target my audience within the Bhutan, then partly we have maybe 100 or 200,000 people who are having YouTube channel, and all of them are not going to subscribe to my channel. So I think I've targeted in a right way. My In a sense, I'm not targeting to get views and then number of subscribers. What I'm doing is conveying the message, rightful message to the right audience. So, anyways, yeah, Bhutan is yeah. That was about Bhutan, and our king. Uh, you know, they've ruled for more than 100 years and still ruling. And our king, uh, is like a god. So people often worship king as a leader who should be looked upon. Most of the people look up to his majesty's work. So we really appreciate and love his leadership. So yeah,
Well,
and
it's
uh,
very, very impressive things. There are other things too. Just like almost all of your power comes from hydropower. It's water power, which is
okay, yeah.
really, really impressive. Which also explains the carbon negativity, because you're not really putting smoke into the air or anything. You're not cutting trees down for that. You're using the water, which is also a bit of a problem too, because you have to deal with flooding sometimes. Right? I mean, that is a worry because of where you're located. But you, in doing some reading, I found that your country didn't take the standard route, which would be to create cement canals and all that other stuff. You have uh, fields with paddies in them that almost act like a buffer, so the plants themselves can absorb the water that comes down sometimes that you have to deal with. And I think that's excellent. And when people listen to this and see your channel and even look up your country, they're going to find that it's a wonderful mixture of trees and green and buildings. The buildings always look like they're in harmony with the trees, and it looks like the trees sometimes are winning. It's a
Yes.
and the the way that the buildings are built is really fascinating too. There are lots of triangles and angles, and they're just absolutely, they look like beautiful sculptures as well. And they're just so fascinating to look at. And you have an international airport. I'm not sure if it's finished.
No, no, it's yet to begin in GMC, but we do have one in Paro. That is. uh, small compared to the upcoming international airport in Galifu Mindfulness City.
Okay. And so even that airport looks very much like the outside is inside because there's trees on the
Yes,
inside and it's in the new airport is actually going to be modular in which sections can be moved and built and so forth. And you just mentioned, and thank you for saying it out loud because I wasn't sure how to say it. Gelifu? Is that how you
yes,
say that? Okay, and that
yes,
is
yes.
the new mindfulness city. Would you mind introducing what that is?
Um, I think I might not be the right person to talk about this, but then
That's okay.
uh, yeah, as a common citizen, I think I do have voices. So, Galifu Mindfulness City, it is one of the unique cities that will come not only in our country but in the whole world. So that project is one of the biggest project happening in our country. So His Majesty the King has given a profound thought for this project. He wanted his people to enjoy you know the beauty that we have already in our country. So therefore His Majesty has, I mean, even addressed in his National Day speech that Galefu Mindfulness City is going to be the unique project in which there will be no skyscraper. It is not going to be like any other cities that we have seen so far. It is going to be so unique, and I don't know how it is going to be, but then we have so much hope. So it is like mindfulness city. You see, uh, so many people around the world, they just tour to, for instance, if they go to Dubai, we have so many skyscrapers. Dubai is known for that. So they just go there, do some shopping, and then enjoy the vacation there. But when it comes to Galifu Mindfulness City, people will come here to stay mindfully with the nature around, surrounded by nature. Elephants will be walking the corridor, and there will be animals in that city. And the tourists who are going to come to Gelifu, they will enjoy the beauty of scene the moment they woke up from their from the bed. Because those hotels, I don't know whether it should be hotel or not, but then that's what I have understood. So it will be surrounded by the crops, paddy fields. And that's how we're coming up with this project. And it is going to be a very fascinating project.
It
So
is
first,
fascinating.
yeah, the first thing is to do with the international airport, because people will have to come here and work. For that, the country is planning to go with the airport. That's why the airport, I mean, the airport construction has already begun. So yeah, I don't know much to say about that.
I think you did an excellent job. That's good. That's a very good understanding from the ground level because, we can read about this from a publicity standpoint, but it's much more fun to hear it from you who actually live there and you get to see it with your own eyes. So, and from what I've read, it's fascinating too, in which bridges are built not to be bridges, but they're actually buildings that, so you actually enter a building to cross a bridge, and it's not unusual to see an elephant walk by and things like that. So that's just such a fascinating vision to have, to just be able to think about that. And you mentioned the skyscrapers. So in the city that I saw, I'm talking to you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we have a small downtown compared to other cities. It's not as large as Chicago and so forth, but we do have some fairly large buildings and things. We have a little downtown area. Sometimes, and I used to work on above the 30th floor for some time downtown. And sometimes I think about how cut off that is from the rest of the world to be that high up, and also what that does to the skyline. And in Bhutan, you never build above, is it 6 stories? I think it's something like that,
Yes,
right?
tallest building is the sixth story, and we
And
have
it's
countable of buildings.
Yeah, it makes such a difference to see that. And I think I absolutely love that. I love the concept of never building above that because it doesn't poke up at the sky. Plus, and I could be wrong on this. I know that fire trucks, their ladders only reach, I think, the seventh floor. So it makes sense to sort of stop there. But I think it's prettier. And your buildings are made with wood, and they're just so gorgeous. They don't contrast. And you talked about Dubai. Dubai is sort of a city built in defiance of nature. Like
Yeah.
it looks like it's fighting nature the entire time. It sticks out as if somebody cut and pasted there. But but your country looks like everything is just living in harmony, that things are built with respect for nature. And it shows in the way the buildings are placed, the way the buildings are shaped. And your buildings still look like buildings, though. They look like works of art, actually, but they still look like man-made. So I appreciate that you create things that look like man, but you're not trying to copy nature per se. So you're saying, look, this is what we create, but we can still work in harmony with what
Yeah.
nature creates, and including the way that you allow paths to go through, animals crossing, and so forth. And I truly hope that it's a concept that can take off and be replicated all over the world, including the United States, where we can build cities like that, where we can be in harmony with nature, but still create our own unique look.
Yes.
So I think it's wonderful, and I think Dubai is, with all due respect to Dubai, it's sort of almost like the opposite of what you're creating, where it's a stark contrast to nature, where yours is just a connection to nature. So I think that's really really wonderful. I will definitely be following the construction, and watching very eagerly and excitedly to see how the construction proceeds. I'll certainly be checking out your channel, and I hope other people do, to watch that construction. So I have an interesting question for you that you may have an interesting answer to. And a lot of people participate in meditation, and
Okay.
people take yoga. I have a good friend who's a yoga teacher, and I've learned a lot about yoga and meditation and breathing and so forth. And
Okay. Hmm.
meditation for some people is very difficult, because the last thing people can do is just not think. They can do all sorts of things, but not thinking. And I'm one of those people that not thinking does not come very naturally to me. I'm always thinking and creating and so forth. So, do you have any advice or on people who are wanting to meditate more?
Um, I don't know whether it has to be advice or not, but then I don't have much experience of meditation. But then, as a student, as someone who learns this kind of techniques theoretically, I have something to share. But I won't say this as an advice, because advice are given by those who have experience of doing meditation. So, so sorry. Um, there are two types of meditation: shamatha meditation and vipassana meditation. So most of the people go with shamatha meditation. I don't know
Uh,
whether
Can you say that
is it
again? I'm not sure I'm hearing you. What kind of meditation?
vipassana meditation and shamatha meditation.
Oh, okay.
So okay, so uh, you know when they do meditation, they're just sitting and concentration. Giving the concentration. You keep your concentration on that particular object. For instance, for the monks, if they're comfortable, they keep statue in front of them, and then do a meditation in which they try to focus on one thing. Maybe some people focus on the breath. Some just listen to the music, and they try to bring concentration to that particular object for a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes for the beginners. 1 2 minutes is enough. So that's how they do this samatha meditation. And in case of vipassana meditation, it is advanced. So in this meditation, they do not focus on concentration. They go with the flow of life. Yeah. So, by the way, you cannot easily learn this kind of meditation. Of course, for just to keep yourself calm and peace, it is okay. But then for us, as a a scholar, I don't know whether I should be called as a scholar or not. But then someone who learns, philosophy in a very advanced way. For us, if we want to go with this kind of meditation, then we must have a teacher who guides us with his own experience. So it is going to be a very advanced, but for the people nowadays, people are using that meditation to calm themselves, to make themselves feel peace in this red race life, because life is, nowadays we have so many issues with mental depression. Yeah. So for those also, I think it really works. That's why they do this kind of meditation. And last time I had an opportunity to talk with a few tourists from India. So they were asking me to share about this kind of basic meditation ideas, and I did explain to them this the same method that I'm talking to them, and I think they were really happy.
Hmm. That's wonderful. And so what you're saying is that there's the meditation that's more of a go with the flow versus just trying to stoically have no thoughts in your mind. It's more of a just letting go. Would that
Yeah.
be a because I've found that it's almost counterintuitive. Instead of because the more you fight the thoughts, the harder they're going to keep fighting back to be there. But when you just
Yes.
sort of accept it and let it go, and someone likened it to a catch and release, almost like catching a fish and just letting it go. Oh, I caught another fish. I'll just let that one go. I caught another one. And finally, you're in the flow where the thoughts aren't that
Very good.
important anymore. I think the catch and release seems to be a good analogy for that, where you just have these thoughts and you say, well, that's nice. The thoughts are
Yeah.
part of being me, and you let them go. And the less you fight it, the less you have to fight it. But that doesn't make a lot of sense to people because they think
Yeah.
they can exert their will and push it forward, but that's the opposite of what they should do. But I'm just saying with my personal experience, that's what I found. And it's nice to hear that you suggest that as well.
Yes. Yes. Although, if the people really want to pick up, then they can go with first 1 minute or 2 minutes for the beginners. So they can go with the shamatha meditation, in which they'll have to sit in a comfortable position, and then concentrate their focus on one particular thing. So that could be music, it could be uh, an object in front of you. So you can comfortably look at that object and bring your concentration that to that object. Of course, thousands and millions of thoughts will
Mm-hmm.
come, but then you'll have to bring your concentration to that particular object. That is shamatha way of meditation. So after 1 to 2 minutes, you can go to another, that is vipassana meditation. So in vipassana meditation, as I already mentioned, you can just let the mind to go with the flow of life. Wherever it takes, you just follow that. Okay. The, if your if your mind takes you to Chicago, then you go there. Mexico, go there. Even if it takes you to that New York City's, there's a tower.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can go there, but you just follow that, and just go with the flow of your mind. You're just looking behind your mind. That is
Mm-hmm.
vipassana meditation.
And I
Yeah.
found in what you're describing that your mind typically has something to say, and listening is really the best thing to do. It's when we fight it that we have the conflict, we have the stress, we have the confusion. But when our mind tells us something, even if it seems like something we don't want to hear, or if it's something counter to what we normally believe, I think it's most important to listen to at least hear it out. It's almost like a small child that's pulling on you and saying, Dad, 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 Dad. And you can't ignore your child and just say, okay, because they'll keep pulling at you and keep pulling at you. And it's when you address it and respect and say yes, and then see what it has to say. And I think at least that's what happens to me, both with dreaming, lucid dreaming, and meditation, is that when there are these thoughts, I become very fascinated with why on earth I would have that. And a lot of that leads to creativity. And creativity for me is this amazing thing that we can't really define, because it's really making something from nothing.
Yeah.
And it's one of the true things in life that is something that we create out of nothing. And it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So, so speaking of creating, you get so much joy from everything that you've been talking about, and I know you get joy from your videos and things. Do you have an additional hobby? Is there something else that you sort of do that you would consider a hobby, or something that's fun that you haven't mentioned?
Um.
And you can say no, but I'm just curious in case you have
No, no,
something.
no. I'm just thinking. Earlier I used to, before joining monastic life, I really love, singing. But then after joining monastery, I just forgot everything. And yeah, I read. I won't say a lot of book, but then I read some of the Western philosophies too. For
Hmm,
instance, recently I bought Nexus by Yuval Noah Harari,
okay.
and I forgot what's that book. It's a personality development book, one of the famous book. I just forgot. I have in that in my shelf, but I'm not getting time to read those books. But I am, taking time whenever I get bored. Video always I cannot always stick with the video. So sometimes I read if I have time. And yeah, Buddhist philosophies, I cannot neglect that. That is part of my life.
Hmm.
So yeah, reading is one of the hobby.
Okay.
And
Well, that's good
yeah,
to know. That's very good to know
what?
that you like reading. And so what you're saying is we're going to see a second channel in which we see you singing and performing?
Not really,
No, I'm kidding.
because uh, there are certain, Vinayas rules which forbids or prohibits monks from singing. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay. And so you said when you joined monastic life, at what age did you join?
I was 27 years old.
Oh, okay. Is that the standard? Is there a certain age that happens, or can it be
No,
any
no,
age?
there's no standard to join monkhood. So mine was it was my own decision. But for some, for younger kids, younger, monks, it it is not their decision. It is their parents' decision.
Mm,
So at such a young age, their parents want their child to get enrolled in monastery because as a Buddhist and as a Buddhist, if there's at least one member from your family who is in the monastery, then it has some benefits. For instance, we do so many rituals, and even during the funeral, whenever there's someone who dies from a family, then if there's someone to look after from the monastery, then there's always a plus point because they know what to do during such event.
mm.
So yeah, that's why people have always prefer to have at least one people from your family to join monastery. But in my case, it's a different case. I took on my own. Nobody forced me, so that's why uh, I was not really old, but then old compared to the monks that are around me. Yeah, that's all.
Well, that's quite a decision at 7 years old. That's very impressive that you would choose that. Wow. But as you said, it's a common thing, because most families have at least one person, you said, that would have joined monastic life.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, very, very amazing. You have an amazing schedule, and you have fascinating thoughts on things. And I think your country is also fascinating. And I would love to visit. I would love to see and visit it as well. But I can live through your videos and other things for now and see what it's like. And speaking to you directly is fascinating. Is there anything that you would like to know while we're speaking? If I flipped it around, is there anything you would like to know about my environment or the United States or what have you?
Yes, yes. I was when I received your text, I was a little bit curious because I had to search. After going to a link, I had to search about you and even found that you even achieved something. I mean, that was award-winning author. So
Oh,
I'm really, I'm really happy to, get notice from such kind of people. So I'm really happy. So just share me about your life.
oh,
Uh,
wow,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, your
That's not.
life as as a writer. By the way, I I did have a blog earlier. I used to write. I used to share in my Facebook wherever I go. I used to share in my blog, and now I'm not really into that. It has been around 8 years since I started blogging,
Mm,
and now currently I've shifted to blogging because people often, are interested visually rather than reading. I think the world has lost so many readers because of the videography. So I really wanted to know your way of life as a writer, as a podcaster, whatever you could say. But then, little bit about you.
sure. And I don't want to take too much of your time because this is really about you, but thank you for asking that. So writing for me has been very fascinating. It's something I only started later in life. It's I started writing nonfiction in which I was examining everything that had happened to me in life. I was examining. I went through a divorce, so then I had to start dating again. So I started
Okay.
examining how all humans connect to each other. And then I thought I found that it was based on one thing. So I started a series called The Status Game, and I wrote that. And then I wrote a book on spirituality, religion, or lack thereof, because it was my examination of what I was seeing. And then I actually, because of something a psychologist talked to me about and my children, I had taken them to psychologists to make sure everything was going okay with them through this divorce, and that she had said that I was doing everything I could for them and that they were very well adjusted. But then she said, "What are you doing for you?" And that's when I didn't have an answer. And then I thought, wow. And she said, if you don't take care of you, there won't be anything left for them. And that's when I really understood balance. And so that's what actually started me writing about balance, that life is made of time, energy, and resources, and that I started writing that. But then one day I was in a cemetery taking a walk, which is close to my house, and I don't know how that works in your country, but here people treat cemeteries almost like parks. I mean, I actually have two loved ones in the cemetery near my house, but
Okay.
I take a walk in it regularly. I find it very peaceful, and
Mhm.
I actually heard what I thought were a conversation of voices in my head, sort of like
Mhm.
I was remembering a movie, but it wasn't a movie I'd never heard. And that actually caused me to run home and write a poem. And that
Okay.
poem became a
Uh-huh.
book. It became my series. And you mentioned the award. That's the book I actually won an award for. Is my fiction. So it ended up being an epic trilogy. And I had never written a 400-page book before. And so
Okay.
that's where that came from. And as you know, it almost like meditation, you go to a place and you go to this place where all this creativity flows out of you and you don't mess with it. You let it be, and you give it the energy it requires and you give it the focus it requires, but you don't mess with it. You don't question it. You let it do what it needs to do, and you let your mind do what it needs to. So that's how writing came for me. And then I actually switched back to nonfiction, and I switched back to fiction, and then I actually
Okay.
coached a few individuals on writing books that came to me for coaching and writing books to help them. and
Mhm.
and so that's sort of how writing the podcast started at the same time that the writing started. It was my quest to figure out balance. I wanted to see, how do you really have balance in the modern world? And that's where
Okay.
the podcast, and podcast leads me to wonderful people like you. And so not only do I write these 10-minute episodes, but I do these hour-long chats with people who have a perspective and a thought process that we don't just see when we go to the grocery store. It's something that is far away or something very interesting. And that's why it's so wonderful to connect with you, and why I thought it would be
Okay.
really wonderful to connect with you on that. So that's my writing and podcast journey in a nutshell. So without me taking too much time away from you, which is really why we're here.
Okay. Can I say something?
Of course.
You see, as a child, I used to listen to podcast. Okay, so this is my first time, you know, me literally speaking in your podcast, and I think it is a dream come true. Really, really, when when you were speaking, I was just thinking, it just took back, and I think as a child, I used to listen to radio because back then we didn't have internet facilities, we didn't have smartphone, and the only friend I had was radio. My mom bought one radio, so I had to sit near the radio and then listen to every songs, every people calling. So we have a trend of people calling to the radio and then dedicating their messages. So I used to one day I'll be in that position and then do this kind of things. And I think it is a really dream come true. So I'm really happy to be part of your podcast.
Well, I'm honored that you feel that way. That means a lot to me, and I'm honored. And I enjoy having people like you on, people who have fascinating stories to tell and can honestly and humbly share their lives. I think it means a lot to people, and it allows people through technology to connect in a way they never could have. I mean, I would have never been able to speak to you if it wasn't for technology. To be able to learn about your life personally is just such a wonderful fulfilling thing for me. So I appreciate you being on the show as well. And if you have any other shout outs you'd like to give about your channel or to people, feel free. Otherwise, I will make sure that I have the links on my article that I will write that will link to your YouTube channel and anything else you have.
Um, just I want to first of all thank my root guru for always blessing. It is his profound blessing that has kept me going, further in life. So that is my prayer. So, and also to those people who will be coming to my channel through your podcast. So make sure that you comment. You have come from Alchemy for Life. That would make me to connect more and understand that yes, such people have come from this channel, and yeah.
Yes, that's
Mm,
that's that's great advice, and I feel the opposite is also true. That if people come to listen to you here, that they should let me know that they came from your channel as well. So I think
yeah.
that's so we can see how people are pollinating, if you will. So that's wonderful. Well, I promised you I would take an hour or less of your time. I very much honor your time, especially hearing your schedule and that you fit this
Okay.
in so nicely. And I really appreciate you fitting it in so quickly and nicely for me around everything else that you're crafting in your life. Thank you again for being here, and I'm sure we'll speak again, and we can learn more about you and more about the city and everything else. So thank you again.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much once again for reaching me. I really felt honored to be part of your podcast. And this podcast is not an ordinary podcast because that kind of podcasts are educating people. They're not entertaining, just for the purpose of entertaining. It is educating people to listen and upgrade their life, to update their life, getting knowledge from such podcast. So I'm really happy that I became a part of your journey, part of your podcast. So we will be in touch, and we'll be sharing our knowledge to each other.
Thank
Yeah,
you. And
that's
yeah,
it.
and I hope it's not the only time we talk. So thank
Mm.
you very much. It's an equal honor for me. So thank you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I have last question. Do you have any plan to come Bhutan?
That crossed my mind. It would be fascinating. I'm not a big fan of very long airplane rides, but
Okay.
but it sounds like a very fascinating, unique place to go. It seems like it's worth the trip. I mean, the people seem nice, clearly very friendly, kind people. Knowing that everyone speaks English is a huge help.
Okay.
It would be interesting to be one of the first users of the airport. So I think it would be a very wonderful thing to take in. So plans, not on paper, but it crossed my mind.
Okay. Anyways, if you have any plan, just let me know.
Oh,
But
I will.
it seems you don't have plan for now. But then anything can happen, you know.
If
So
if I do go, I would certainly seek you out. I would certainly let you know ahead of time so that I could say hello and have tea with you or something like that. I think that would be
okay.
wonderful. Thanks for listening. I included a little bit of our chit chat after the goodbye because I thought it was worth including. Take care of yourself, and as always, remember that you are important.
Well, I just wanna be happy. How to get there? Glad that you asked me. I think it's different for everyone. Some of us need work, others need fun. Some of us need purpose to overcome. But try to do what you love when it's said and done. Cause there's so many differences in each of us. Trust your gut, it can show you what you want. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. I want to announce that my new book, my 10th, is out. It's called Because, the fundamental psychological building blocks that enable you to, or prevent you from, accomplishing anything, everything, and nothing. Check it out on Amazon. It's only $9.99.